I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about that? Do you think that all street photography is an invasion of someone else's privacy? Well, hello, hope you guys are well. Welcome to another video. Today I'm in Peterborough and I'm going to do a little bit of street photography, so a bit of POV, a bit of point of view. I've already had the police helicopter go over, so you know you're in Peterborough. Yes, I'm going to put the GoPro on the camera and we'll have a little wander through the town and see what we can get. I'm using the 28mm again today. I think I said last time when I was in London that it was a 28mm f2.8. It's actually an f3.5 maximum aperture. I don't know why I said 2.8. I think I got 2.8 and 28 mixed up. So yeah, it's actually an f3.5, but we're going wide. We're going for the 28mm manual lens, and yeah, let's give it a go and see if we can get some shots. For any football connoisseurs out there, that's the mighty London Road, Western Home Stadium as it's known now, home of the mighty Posh. 4-0 against Lincoln at the weekend, can't be bad. This is I think the redevelopment of the embankment, so you use big buildings here and the ones that are being built. I wonder if I can get anything with this guy walking down here. A bit obvious, isn't it? But so it's a nice bright sunny day today, so I can shoot at quite high shutter speed. So I'm shooting at 1,000th of a second, f3.5, and my ISO is maxed out at 400, so it's somewhere between 100 and 400. I'm suspecting it will take it mostly at 100 because it's quite bright. At the group or the dinosaur? Not much going on the way into the town centre. It's the River Nene, exciting times. Lots of swans. Cool little tunnel here. Go on the bike, coming through if I can. Surprising how much is closed down around here now. This is a wonderful addition to the ambience of the city. Look at it. I think I've ever seen black iron railing so impressive and beautiful. What do you think, Pidge? Yeah, I'm with you. This wasn't here last time. If we can get something here. Yeah. So this is Cathedral Square, and that's the Guildhall facing you there with the clock. Nando's used to be HMV. Starbucks used to be Lloyd's Bank. I'm going to go, T-Rex, the dinosaur, not the band. It's the cathedral. I think Peterborough Cathedral is in the top 10 of places to visit in the UK. It's nice enough. It's a fantastic arch this, but look at the mess through the background. It's so messy, so many people. 2 arches, no people. See, I could wait here for someone to come through, but it says private driveway down there, so I think I might be waiting quite a long time. Oh, I like this. Wow, this is cool. Get comfy. We could be here a while. It'd be rude though, wouldn't it, not to get someone walking through that arch when you've got the light like that. Come on, just one person walk through here. Have to take that guy's shot. I have to turn around and take it quickly. Yeah, look at that guy with all that negative space around him. Fantastic. That guy in the pink is going to stay there long enough. No, he's not. That's unfortunate. It's got a great diagonal here, and he was on the end of it almost, reading that plinth. But alas, he's gone. Well, do you know what, right? I lived in Peterborough for the first 24 years of my life, and I honestly don't think I've ever been down here. It's absolute madness. Alright, so since I've never been here before, let's go back and do it twice. It's more interesting over here. That's why. I'll tell you what though, these must be really old parts of this cathedral, because you can just see it, can't you, in the brickwork and how it's aged so much. Fantastic. I wonder if this is one of the oldest, like I said, the oldest parts. It looked like windows that have been bricked in. Beautiful spot this is for a sit down. Not gonna though. Okay, well, I've had a little stop, little break, had a beer. Oh, hello, wait a minute. That could be interesting. Take the lens cap off. Guy to come out. Now, this over here is boarded up. Oh, it's all boarded up. That, well, you can see, possibly see, it says Central Park, and that was a pub, and next to it, around the corner, was the club which was called Fifth Avenue, and before that it was called Ronaldo's. I had some nights in there, I can tell you. Back when I was younger though, you had to wear like a blazer and a tie to get into something like that. Crazy. And now it's gone. So also down there is the market, where you may have seen me last time I was here. I'm not going to go that way, I'm going to head round this way, because there is, I think, quite an interesting arcade that might be worthy of a couple of shots. So one person to fill that gap on the right, possibly. So this is it here, coming up here, Westgate Arcade. Excellent sandwich shop in here. Well, it used to be called Swivels. I don't know if it still exists, but oh, I used to get massive baps. It's still there. It'd be great if I could just isolate one or two down here, but it's very busy. So as you can see, I'm back at the car, so there's no more photography for today, but there was something I wanted to say quickly before I went. There was Andrew Atkinson, who I've mentioned before. I think I mentioned him in my last Norman's Wisdom. You know, great guy on Twitter, posts a poll every day about something to do with photography, always interesting, always thought-provoking. Today is no different. He's posted his poll today, and it says, is there a genre or type of photography that you dislike? And a bit further in the comments we have someone who says, I'm not going to name them, they say those people who go around taking photos of random people going about their day on the street and portray them as genuine, in inverted commas, and a slice of life, in inverted commas, and not an invasion of privacy. So that's a really interesting comment to that poll, and I just wanted to ask you guys, because I feel like there's a Norman's Wisdom coming on about this, but I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about that? Do you think that all street photography is an invasion of someone else's privacy? You know, I think the more this conversation went on with this person, the more it seems to be about men taking photos of women, and that's where the issue comes, I think. Is it worse if it's a man taking a photo of a woman than a woman taking a photo of a man, or a man taking a photo of a man? Is it worse? Is there any credence in that? What about if the person's anonymous? What about if they're at a wedding? What about if someone's at a wedding and they haven't consented to photographs, they've just gone to a wedding and the wedding photographer is taking photographs of them? Is that okay? Or is that unacceptable? What about if it's a sports event? What about if it's an amateur sports event? Is it okay to take photographs of people at sports events but not on the street? I know there's an ethical question about street photography in some instances. I can also tell you that street photography on public land is perfectly legal as long as it doesn't break certain morality boundaries. I personally am always very careful, and I look at my photography, my street photography in general, as urban landscape photography with a human interest. So I'm always trying to compose a shot, generally trying to compose a shot that's really more about the landscape than the person. but the person in the landscape makes the shot, if that makes sense. I do sometimes take photos where you can see who people are. I don't often, mostly they're anonymous silhouettes usually, or anonymous figures, but there are occasions where you can tell who they are. Is that acceptable? Is that okay? I mean, please feel free to leave a comment, and if it isn't acceptable, or if it is acceptable, is there a line? Is there a line where you cross from the acceptable into the unacceptable? What about photographs of animals without their consent? Is that acceptable? That sounds stupid, but animals have feelings, you know, so is it acceptable to go out into the wild and take a photograph of a bird without its consent, or go to a zoo and take a photograph of an ape without its consent? I'd like to know these things, so if you've got an opinion on that, I'd really love to hear it. Anyway, I'm going to go now because there's some really annoying kids making a load of noise in the subway, and I will see you next time. But please comment, because I find this quite fascinating and I'd really like to know your thoughts on it. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next week.